Hello and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today, it is all about how to grow and care for the Agave attenuata nova. Agave attenuata nova is a drought-tolerant succulent with large, attractive blue-green leaves. The leaves are void of any margins and have a smooth, uniform surface. They are flexible and curve backward. When fully grown, individual rosettes can get quite large at about 5 feet tall. Agave attenuata nova is a beautiful, non-spiny agave that's much bluer than its relatives. It also has wide leaves and doesn't have any dangerous spikes to be aware of. A 10 feet tall stalk emerges from the center of the rosette of mature plants when they are at their peak. It is topped with a cluster of greenish-yellow flowers. Agave attenuata nova is a succulent that requires very little maintenance. It can be grown both outdoors and indoors. However, it can get quite large and may not be suitable for small spaces. Agave attenuata nova needs full sun for optimal growth and flowering, but this plant can tolerate partial shade. Avoid placing your agave in direct sunlight, as this can cause leaf burn and damage the plant structure of your agave. A south-facing window or a patio deck that receives plenty of light during the day are ideal locations. This plant is not tolerant of cold, freezing conditions. If you live in an area that regularly experiences winter temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius, then it's best for this beautiful but delicate bloomer to not go outside. Water when you're sure the soil is dry and avoid overwatering. This plant has a diverse set of needs. It should be allowed at least 1 week between deep soakings when in full sun, and if you want the plant healthy enough, then just make sure not too much water penetrates their roots. In winter, water less frequently as the plant is dormant and uses little water. The ideal temperature for this plant is between 55 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, but it'll survive temperatures as low as 10 degrees Fahrenheit if kept completely dry. The Agave attenuata nova plant is known for its hot and dry climate preferences. They thrive in USDA hardiness zones 8 to 10, but there might be some variations depending on the specific variety you have chosen to grow at home or elsewhere outdoors. Average room humidity is usually more than enough, as this plant doesn't care either way. It's important to fertilize your agave once a year, but you should use only slow-release fertilizer and avoid over-fertilizing. Use a balanced fertilizer, 10 to 10-10, for the best results. The liquid fertilizer should be applied every 2 weeks during the active growing season to keep plants healthy and strong. To keep your beautiful indoor plant healthy and happy, you should provide it with a soil mix that has good drainage. Agave attenuata nova can be propagated by using pups or offsets and seeds. Offsets are the new growths on agave plants. You can easily remove them and grow them into new plants. This is a good way to propagate your plants without waiting for seeds to mature. Separate the plantlets from the parent rosette by cutting them off with a sharp knife. Plant each plantlet in well-draining soil, keeping it moist until it becomes established. Water regularly until the roots are settled, which should take about 3 weeks, depending on temperature and humidity levels. After that, they can be transplanted into their permanent location when they have grown to approximately 6 inches high. When using the seeds method, sow the seeds in a pot filled with the soil mix. Sprinkle some water in the soil and wrap the pot with some plastic. Keep the pot in a warm location with indirect sunlight. Once you notice the seedlings forming within a month, take the plastic off. The best time to repot Agave attenuata nova is when the plant has outgrown its current container. Generally, the best season of the year for repotting agaves is springtime. The plant can undergo stress if exposed to cold temperatures. Use a standard well-draining succulent potting soil. Be sure to add plenty of coarse sand or perlite to provide drainage. Choose a container with drainage holes in its bottom for excess water to drain out. Select the perfect spot. Agave attenuata nova prefers full sun but can tolerate partial shade. An outdoor space with plenty of sunlight is ideal, but it can also thrive near a sunny window. Remove the plant from the pot. Remove old potting mix, ensuring you don't damage roots. Remove old soil, if present. Fill in the new container with well-draining potting soil. Ease the root ball into the soil, ensuring it's secure in its new home by tamping down on the soil around it. Water lightly and wait for your agave to become established. The Agave attenuate nova plant is mildly toxic to humans. The sap of agaves can cause skin irritation if it gets into contact with the skin. Agave attenuata nova is susceptible to agave snout weevils, scale insects, and slugs and snails. The agave snout weevil is a small beetle that feeds on the leaves and flowers of agaves. Control is difficult because only 1 or 2 larvae can seriously damage a large plant. If you notice any damage on your plants, prune off damaged portions and spray insecticide. Scale insects are small, hard-shelled insects that suck sap from a plant's leaves and stems. They can also secrete a small amount of honeydew, which attracts ants. If you see any signs of these pests, rub neem oil to prevent spread. Slugs and snails are slimy pests that can cause significant damage to your agave, especially young seedlings. They feed on leaves and stems, leaving holes and damage behind as they go. To remove slugs and snails, you'll have to remove them by hand. Please note and avoid overwatering the plant, placing it under harsh sunlight, using poorly drained potting mediums, and fertilizing during the dormancy period.